Let's get right into that. I'm glad you brought up the elite camp, the Friday night lights, just that whole experience. Of course, everybody knows Bryce Underwood comes into town. Harlem Berry comes into town. They get that Tiger Stadium feel. And honestly, it's often imitated, it's never duplicated. I feel like them getting into the mix, it's all but over for their recruiting. These guys are LSU's next shiny, blue chip pieces that are going to develop into stars. Plus, you got to see a lot of talent. LSU locked in two commits over the weekend, one in Jesse Harrell, another one in Ja'Kai Anderson. They did lose a commit in Jabori Antoine, but it's not over for him either. So Elite Camp mixed up a lot of things in LSU recruiting. But G, you were our eyes on the ground. What did you see? How did you feel? Just give me your overall takeaway from what was the LSU Elite Camp.
First of all, I got to the camp maybe an hour and a half before it was supposed to start because the LSU receivers, Nussmeier and Bryce Underwood had a throwing session on the practice fields, and I had to be there just to see how Bryce Underwood was going to interact with some of these receivers on LSU team, just seeing how he was going to command the whole throwing session, and just seeing how the receiver was going to react to the way he throws the ball and the way he goes about his business. And I was very, very impressed with Bryce Underwood. Ryan Clark said it best on last week. I think that was a T-Bob show he was on when he says describing Bryce Underwood perfectly is he's an adult. And that's how he handles himself. He handles himself like an adult, like he's been here before. He doesn't seem like a kid that's going into his senior year. He seems like a kid that is maybe in his second or third year in college already. And that's what I was so impressed with, man, the way how locked in he was, the way the ball comes off his hand with a lot of velocity, the way he throws with anticipation, how confident he was and how he was being a leader out there with veteran receivers like a Chris Hilton and Kyron Lacy. Kyron Lacy told me after the throwing session, he said, man, I would be very shocked if Bryce doesn't start as a true freshman. This coming from Kyron Lacy. This coming from wide receiver one at LSU. He said, man, he's just different. And I think that's high praises coming from somebody like Kyron, because if anybody knows on what they expect from a quarterback and how good a quarterback can be, it's Kyron Lacy, right? He just played with the Heisman Trophy winner and Jaden Daniels, who went number 2 in the draft. So I think he knows a thing or two about quarterback. Uh, as far as the other kids at the camp goes, I'm gonna tell you, man, Ahmad Hudson, the tight end from Ruston. He's part of that 2027 class. 6'5", dual sport athlete, really, really good in basketball. He impressed me throughout the whole camp. I think he's going to probably be the next Tre'Davious Green when we look 3 to 4 years down the line. The same type of background. Really, really good on the basketball team. Plays above the rim. In football, man, he was high pointing, running really good routes, looked really fluid, and he just looked like he's just different than everybody that was out there playing the tight end position. Well, when you talk about JT Lindsey, the LSU commit from Alexandria, that's what JT Lindsey. I think Alexandria Ash. He looked really, really good. You could tell Coach Frank Wilson was very impressed with how he competed at the camp. Looked really, really good coming out the backfield. Ja'Kai Anderson is a kid that was at the camp. He didn't compete. He competed the week before. That's the 3-star receiver out of McDonald 35 that just committed on Saturday as well. Ja'Kai Anderson is, to me, one of the most underrated prospects in the whole state of Louisiana for that 2026 class. Yeah, he's a 3-star right now, but I think when we all look back down the line in the next 2 years when he's a senior, I think Ja'Kai Anderson could end up being a 5-star prospect when it's all said and done. I think he's that good. I don't think he's finished growing right now. He's at about 6'1.5". And he's a great, great kid. Richard Anderson, the 2026 D lineman from Edna Carr, he committed 2 on Saturday. He actually competed at the camp. Really, really good on his feet. A lot of explosion. He's sitting at about 6'2.5" and some change. I think Richard Anderson is going to be another kid that probably end up being a 5-star when his senior year comes around. So it was a really, really good camp.